80 years into our marriage, I discovered that the child we adopted back then was actually my husband Uz's love child with his mistress. In my past life, I toiled away at the Lincoln family and treated my in-laws like they were a king and a queen. I also gave my stepson the best education possible and helped him get into a renowned college. Yet I later ended up dead on the street. My stepson said, "You are not my mother. You'll never be her." He breaks my legs, kicks me out of the house, and watches as I starve to death. It's only after my death that I find out he's the illegitimate son of my husband and his true love. When I open my eyes again, I am back to the day my husband Simon Lincoln brings my stepson home. "Eunice, I've completed all the paperwork and brought him home," Simon Lincoln said as he guided a boy who appeared to be around 10 years old toward me. "Come on, this is your mom from now on," he encouraged the child. The word mom hit me like a bolt of lightning. My whole body shuddered, and I nearly dropped the water glass in my hand. I quickly looked up toward the source of the voice and met a pair of eyes as dark as night. Simon was holding Owen Lincoln's hand while giving me a warm, affectionate smile. A wave of nausea suddenly washed over me, and I gulped down several mouthfuls of cold water until my stomach began to cramp uncomfortably before I finally set the glass down. "Eunice, are you all right?" Simon's voice was filled with concern, his eyes brimming with worry. Every gesture he made was thoughtful, as if I were his entire world. Since our marriage, he had always put me first and accommodated my every need. Even when I could not bear children, he took the blame and told everyone it was his problem. Yet this seemingly perfect husband would eventually conspire with his stepson to take my life. "Dad, does mom not like me?" Owen's words jolted me back to reality. It was just like my previous life. At first, I truly believed Simon could not have children. However, I accidentally discovered my medical reports in his drawer. I was the one who could not bear children. I looked at Simon, feeling guilty for letting him shoulder the blame and criticism from others all these years. Having witnessed everything, Owen claimed I was deliberately ignoring him and did not like him. This resentment persisted until the day he drove me out of the house. "No, she doesn't dislike you. She's just overwhelmed with joy," Simon quickly responded. I walked over to Owen and crouched beside him, fighting my disgust as I gently patted his head. "Yes, your dad is right. I don't dislike you at all. I love you very much," I said, assuring him. Owen looked at me skeptically before asking, "Really?" I nodded firmly. "Of course it's true." Simon smiled contentedly. "This is perfect. We finally have a son and my parents will be relieved too. Eunice, why don't we invite them to stay with us?" I agreed without hesitation. After all, families should stay together or suffer together. Simon's parents arrived incredibly fast the next morning. His mother, Irene Truman, made herself comfortable on the couch and beckoned Owen over. "Come here, my precious grandson." "Oh, aren't you just adorable?" Owen snuggled into Irene's embrace, appearing perfectly well behaved. However, no one knew that Owen had developed a pretty nasty personality under the influence of Simon's former flame, Una Grover. I'd given Owen the best of everything in my previous life because I did not want him to feel burdened. However, what I thought was care and love became chains of restraint in his eyes. His gaze toward me gradually shifted from genuine gratitude to indifference and eventually to hatred. Of course, Simon's parents and Simon himself played their part in fostering that transformation. I decided to step back in this life. Whatever Owen became would have nothing to do with me, Eunice Campbell. During dinner time, Simon guided me to the kitchen, urging me to start preparing the meal. I turned to look at Owen and said, "What's the rush? We haven't even asked Owen what he'd like to eat yet." Simon smacked his forehead as realization hit him. "You were right. I completely forgot about that, Owen. What would you like to eat? Tell us, and we'll make it for you." A knowing smile played on my lips. What did he like to eat? Of course I knew exactly what he wanted. Sure enough, Owen spoke up timidly the next second. "Dad, can I have some fried chicken and a burger?" "That's just junk food," Irene chimed in, her tone firm.